Have you ever wondered if the man by your side really loves you? Often love is not expressed in beautiful words or ready-made phrases. It shows itself in the details, in gestures that seem small, but say much more than a lip service, "I love you." The problem is that it's not always easy to see these signs, and that's where many women get confused, believing empty promises and overlooking what really matters. And that's what we're going to talk about today. There's one thing that no one tells you. When a man truly loves you, he doesn't need a long list of actions. In fact, he proves it with just two clear and unmistakable signs. Two signs that, if you look closely, eliminate any doubt about his feelings. No matter what he says, no matter if he writes romantic messages or posts beautiful photos on social media, none of that guarantees real love. What guarantees it are these two signs. Now think for a moment. How many times have you found yourself trying to interpret a man's silence? How many times have you wondered if he was really involved or just going through the motions for convenience? This doubt is painful because it directly affects your self-esteem, confidence, and even your vision of the future. The truth is that you don't have to live in this maze of uncertainty. There is a simple way to find out, without insisting on proof, without asking for declarations, without demanding anything. Just see if these two signs are present. If they are, you can breathe a sigh of relief. He truly loves you. If they are not, you need to rethink things. But before revealing these signs, it is essential to understand why so many women get lost in this process. The female heart often values what it hears more than what it sees. Words move, excite, and enchant. However, in the male universe, love is rarely expressed in long speeches or phrases worthy of a romantic movie. A man who loves does not need to talk all the time. He shows it. And those who do not understand this difference end up in empty relationships, where words are plentiful, but proof is scarce. And here's the first reality check. A man who doesn't prove it, but only talks about it, is giving you a silent answer. He's showing that his feelings aren't as strong as they seem, because those who truly love can't hide it, even if they try. These two signs are almost impossible to fake. That's why, throughout this video, you'll realize that it's not magic, nor is it complicated psychological theory. It's something simple, straightforward, and practical. So much so that you'll start to identify it in any man, whether he's your boyfriend, husband, or even someone you're just getting to know. And I want you to pay close attention, because you may discover something you've never noticed before. Maybe you'll understand why that past relationship never worked out, or even confirm that the man by your side today truly loves you. But there's also another possibility, that you'll see that he doesn't show these signs, and that could be a warning sign that you shouldn't continue investing your energy in something that has no future. Deep down, every woman wants only one thing: to be genuinely loved, without having to beg for attention, without having to compete with distractions, without carrying the feeling of being alone in the relationship. And when a man shows these two signs, he eliminates all those insecurities. He proves without words that you are a priority, that you have a place in his heart, and that what you are building has a solid foundation. Throughout this video, I will guide you in this discovery. You will understand exactly what these two signs are, why they are so decisive, and how to recognize every detail of them in male behavior. It doesn't matter if you are at the beginning of a relationship, in the middle of a complicated phase, or even unsure if it's worth continuing. What you will hear today may change the way you see men forever. So, stay with me until the end, because it's no exaggeration to say that these two signs are the key to distinguishing true love from an illusion. Imagine a common scene. A woman comes home after a busy day. Work was hard, traffic was chaotic, and all she wanted was to find some peace. Her boyfriend, sitting on the couch, asks if everything is okay. She replies that she is, but inside she is tired, exhausted, needing a different perspective. At that moment, it's not about words, it's about attitude. A man who truly loves her will notice, even if she doesn't say anything. He will get up, perhaps prepare something for her to eat, or simply offer her a quiet hug. This gesture may seem small, but it has a profound meaning. He is not just with her, he is there for her. And it is precisely in this difference that the first level of understanding of male love is found. Many men say, "I love you," but few show it when the situation demands it. Love, to be real, needs to go beyond the comfort of words and enter the realm of spontaneous actions. And that's when what really matters begins to reveal itself. If you stop to think about it, all the great loves of your life were not proven with beautiful phrases, but with unexpected actions. Maybe it was a friend who stood by you in a difficult moment, a relative who defended you when you had no strength, or even a stranger who offered you help without asking for anything in return. What really matters is the action, and when we talk about relationships, it's no different. However, many women confuse this logic because they are taught to value what they hear. Romantic movies, songs, stories, everything reinforces the idea that love is declared in impactful phrases. But the reality is much less poetic and much more practical. A man who truly loves shows it in the little things, in the details that don't appear on social media, but that build trust in a relationship. Now think about how many times you felt insecure because you didn't receive constant messages, or because he didn't tell you all the time that he missed you. How many times have you wondered if the absence of words meant the absence of love? This is a common mistake because a man's language is not, in most cases, verbal. His language is made up of choices, priorities, where he puts his energy. And here's something that almost no one tells you. Men may lie with words, but they can hardly sustain a lie with actions for long. Words are light, easy to say, but actions require effort, consistency, and truth. That's why the signs that reveal true love are not in what he says, but in what he does repeatedly, even without realizing it. I'll tell you a little story that illustrates this. A young couple had been together for a few months. She always demanded more declarations, wanted to hear more affectionate phrases, wanted him to be like the characters in the movies she watched. He, on the other hand, wasn't one to talk much, but every day, without fail, he checked to see if her car had gas, if the tires were inflated, and if she had everything she needed for the day. To her, this seemed like little at first, but over time, she realized that this was his way of saying, "I love you," without using words. And it was a much more solid way because it was accompanied by consistency. This is the key that unlocks the door to understanding. It's not the quantity of words, but the quality of actions. And when you understand that, the way you view a relationship changes completely. You stop getting caught up in rehearsed speeches and start to notice what really matters. Of course, every man has his own way, his own personality, his own limitations. But what doesn't change is this: if he loves, he shows it. And this demonstration is visible, noticeable, and impossible to disguise. You just need to know where to look. So before revealing the two main signs that prove a man's true love, it's essential that you put yourself in the position of an observer. More than listening, learn to see. More than feeling with your heart, learn to analyze with attentive eyes. Because when you learn to identify the right gestures, you won't be fooled by empty words. And remember, a man who truly loves you won't need you to beg for attention or demand proof every day. He'll simply show you, because it comes from within. His love is not a burden. It is not an obligation. It is not a mask. It is something natural, which reveals itself in constant details. In a moment, I will show you exactly what these two signs are. But before we get there, keep this in mind. True love is not spoken. It is proven. And the man who truly loves you will prove it without you having to ask. The time has come to reveal the first sign that proves, without a shadow of a doubt, that a man truly loves. And here I want you to pay close attention, because this sign is deeper than it seems at first glance. The first sign is true presence. It may seem simple, but in practice, it makes all the difference. When a man loves, he is not only physically close, he is wholly present, body, mind, and heart. This means that even amid distractions, work, obligations, and commitments, he finds a way to be with you, to listen to you, to support you, to show you that you are his priority. Think about it. How many men have you seen who were present but totally absent, sitting at the table with their partner, but with their eyes on their cell phone, going on dates, but with their mind elsewhere, being together but not really being there? That's not presence, it's just superficial coexistence. And anyone can have superficial coexistence. True presence, on the other hand, is rare and only exists when there is real love. A man who truly loves you demonstrates this presence at different times. When you talk about your fears, he doesn't minimize them. When you share your dreams, he doesn't laugh or be sarcastic. When you need support, he doesn't disappear. He's there even if he doesn't have all the answers, even if he doesn't know exactly what to do. The simple fact of being there is already a way of saying, "I care, I'm with you." And you know what's interesting? This kind of presence can't be forced. A man who doesn't love may try, but he soon shows himself to be tired, bored, distant. He avoids deep conversations, disappears in difficult moments, closes himself off when he realizes he would need to truly get involved. A man who loves, on the other hand, doesn't run away. He may be quieter, more reserved, but when you need him, he's there, and that's what sets him apart from everyone else. Let me tell you a story to illustrate. A woman was going through a difficult phase, problems at work, family issues, and fragile emotional health. She didn't expect her boyfriend to solve all her problems, because that wouldn't be possible. But do you know what he did? He showed up whenever he could, brought her coffee, asked how she was doing, sat quietly beside her when she didn't feel like talking. That shared silence was so powerful that it gave her the strength to carry on. That is true presence. It doesn't require words or grand gestures. It only requires genuine love and availability. And you may be asking yourself, but how do I know if his presence is genuine or just convenient? The answer is simple. Observe his behavior when you are not feeling well. It's easy to be present on happy days, when everything is going well and the mood is light. But it is on days of pain, uncertainty, and chaos that true love reveals itself. If he stays close, if he remains even when the relationship is not at its peak, if he does not disappear in the face of problems, then he is proving that he truly loves you. Another important point: presence does not mean quantity of hours, but quality. He may not be by your side 24 hours a day because he has responsibilities, work, and a personal life. But when he is there, he really connects. He truly listens, pays attention, and values your company. This is infinitely more valuable than a man who spends all day with you but doesn't look you in the eye or show interest. This sign is so powerful because it cannot be faked. True presence requires commitment. It requires priority. And priority cannot be faked for long. If he is always finding excuses not to show up, disappears when you need him, avoids being there for important moments, then it's not love, it's convenience. But if he is present even when there is nothing to gain, when there is no perfect scenario, when all that exists is you needing support, that is one of the biggest signs that he truly loves you. And here's a thought: a man can buy expensive gifts, make beautiful promises, and post photos on social media, but none of that makes up for his actual absence. Love is not measured by what is shown to others, but by what is offered when no one is looking. And that first sign, true presence, is the basis of everything. Without it, love is nothing more than appearance. With it, any relationship has the strength to weather the storms. Keep this in mind. A man who loves does not disappear, does not hide, does not run away. He is there. And being in this context is much more than simply existing alongside. It is being whole, present, available. This is the first sign that proves real love. Now that you understand the first sign, true presence, it's time to reveal the second. And perhaps this one is even more powerful, because it not only shows that the man is there, but that he really invests in the relationship. The second sign is constant care. When a man truly loves, he cares about your well-being in a natural way, without you having to ask. He thinks of you before you even speak. He anticipates your needs. He seeks to protect you, support you, and above all, make you feel valued. This care doesn't have to be something grand, like expensive trips or luxurious gifts. On the contrary, it reveals itself in the little things in everyday life. It's the gesture of putting an extra sweater in your bag because he knows you feel cold. It's sending a message asking if you arrived safely. It's caring about your health, your safety, your peace of mind. It's remembering details that even you forget, but that are important to him because they concern you. This kind of care is very different from control. Controlling is wanting to impose, dictate rules, limit your freedom. Caring is protecting without suffocating, supporting without restraining. It is showing in a light and natural way that you matter. A man who loves you does not leave you in the dark, does not ignore your feelings, does not dismiss your problems. He may not be able to solve everything, but he shows real concern, shows interest in lightening your load, in sharing your burden. I'll tell you a story that makes this clear. A woman always said she was a light sleeper and felt unsafe sleeping alone when her husband was away on business. Even with his busy work schedule, he always found a way to call her before she went to sleep. Not to solve all her fears, but to show her, "I'm here. I care about you." This simple act, repeated several times, was what made her sure of his love, because that's what care is: consistency, repetition, attention to detail. And true care doesn't just happen on good days. On sick days, when you're not feeling well, that's when he shows if he really loves you. A man who loves doesn't disappear, doesn't pass the responsibility on to someone else. He cares. Even if he doesn't know exactly what to do, even if it's just bringing a glass of water, asking if you took your medicine, or staying by your side in silence. These small gestures carry enormous weight because they show that your well-being is important to him. And here's an essential detail. Constant care is never a burden for those who love. A man who doesn't love sees this kind of attitude as an obligation, as a nuisance, as something tiring. He complains, does it reluctantly, feels trapped. A man who loves, on the other hand, doesn't see it that way. For him, caring is natural, it's part of love, it's a way of showing that you are a priority. Perhaps you are now remembering situations in which you felt truly cared for. It may have been when he worried about your health, when he wanted to protect you from something, when he thought about your comfort before thinking about his own. These moments are precious because they reveal exactly who he is. On the other hand, you may also remember situations where you were left alone, where you felt neglected, where you realized that the other person was more focused on themselves than on you. This difference is what separates a relationship based on real love from an empty relationship. It's important to understand that care doesn't have to be perfect, but it does need to be constant. Don't expect him to guess everything, to never make mistakes, to always be available. But observe, when he is present, does he show this care in a genuine way? Does he show real concern? Does he try even when he doesn't know exactly how to act? If the answer is yes, this is the second sign that he really loves you. And keep this in mind. Constant care is not something that can be learned or forced. It comes from within. A man can even pretend to be interested for a while, but he will soon reveal himself, because no one can sustain false care for long. When it's real, you can feel it. You can see it in his eyes, his gestures, his choices. So, when you observe this second sign, you have the final key to identifying true love. If he is present in body and soul, and if he cares for you constantly and naturally, there is no doubt, he truly loves you. Now that you know the two signs that reveal whether a man truly loves you, it's time to put the pieces together and see the main message of this video. The first sign is true presence, and he doesn't just show up, he is there body and soul, willing to share both the good and the difficult moments. The second sign is constant care. He doesn't just say he cares, he proves it, repeatedly, with simple but meaningful gestures. These two signs form the basis of genuine male love. They don't depend on money, status, or grand public declarations. They depend only on something that cannot be bought, real feeling. And here's an important thought. Many women spend years waiting for a man to declare his love, to change, to show something that never really existed. They live trapped in promises, feeding hopes that only hurt them. But the truth is simple. If these two signs are not there, it's because there is no true love. On the other hand, if they are clearly there, you don't need anything else. The big secret is to understand that love is not sustained by words. Words can enchant, but they can also deceive. Attitudes, on the other hand, when accompanied by presence and care, leave no room for doubt. A man who loves does not shy away from the responsibility of being there for you. He does not disappear on difficult days. He does not leave you to carry everything alone. He shows through daily gestures that you are a priority in his life. Perhaps at this moment you are remembering stories from your life. It may be that you are confirming that yes, the man by your side proves with these two signs that his love is real. And if that is the case, cherish it. Understand that you have something rare, something that many people spend their lives searching for without finding. But it may also be that upon hearing these words, you have realized that you are in a relationship where these signs do not exist, where there are words, but no presence, where there are promises, but no care. If this is the case, perhaps it is time to rethink, because insisting on something empty will only distance you from the true love you deserve. And it's important to note, love is not perfection. No man will always get it right. No relationship will be free of flaws or challenges. But what sets real love apart is consistency. He may make mistakes, he may fail at times, but he will show these two signs again. He will be present again. He will care again. And that consistency is what builds the solid foundation of a lasting relationship. What I want you to take away from this video is very simple. If he truly loves you, you will see it. You will see it in his presence, on good days and bad days. You will see it in his constant care, in the details that only someone who truly loves you is capable of offering. And if you don't see these signs, Don't be fooled by pretty words. Words pass, actions remain. True love leaves no room for doubt. It doesn't create insecurity, it doesn't feed fear, it doesn't make you feel alone. On the contrary, it brings peace, confidence, and the certainty that you are not walking alone. If these two signs exist, you have found something precious. But if they don't exist, understand that it's not love, and it's not worth insisting on something that only consumes you. Ultimately, male love doesn't need 10 complicated signs or difficult theories. It boils down to just two simple but powerful points: true presence and constant care. If you find both, you have proof that he truly loves you. So keep this in mind. Love isn't what he says, it's what he shows. And a man who truly loves will always show it.